let's get into some stuff. I'm so mad, y'all. So I gotta do this whole entire messiness that I did yesterday. Is what it says. I did yesterday. The volume actually did not work, and I'm so mad. And then people within the chat didn't even say anything, but it's okay. So let's get down to the mess of the mess that we got up. Let's get into this. This shouldn't be too long, hopefully. But let's get into Fat Joe. So Fat Joe is getting sued, y'all. So he gets sued by his former hype man who was suing him for 20 mil. So this man has said that, Fat Joe coerced him into staying quiet about a couple of things that he said Fat Joe has been engaging in sex acts with minors and coerced him into more than 4,000 X acts. I said, damn. I said, baby, what's going on over there? So apparently this man is also suing because he done wrote a couple. He said he has wrote a couple of Fat Joe's some of his songs, and he wasn't compensated for that. So he want his money. Yeah. So he's saying that he could tell a lot of things about Fat Joe and his wife relationship. I said, damn. I said, there we go. I said, I'm here for the tea. So if you gonna get this 20 mil, I don't know. So Fat Joe ended up his team, his lawyer team came out and said this is all fake. This ain't real. I don't know. This all is made up. I said I'm surprised Fat Joe didn't come out and say anything because usually Fat Joe always got an opinion something. But we're gonna move on past them. Let's get into the next thing that we got up, and that will be the one and only Miss Wendy Williams. So Wendy came to us to let us know that, baby, I have nothing to do with Kevin Hunter suing her guardian for 250 mil and want that guardianship canceled. She said they got nothing to do with me. She went, It's come to find out doing this whole lawsuit thing that Kevin Hunter had put in place. It also says a couple of things where Kevin Hunter said that she's actually been blocked. Like she's been blocked from getting in contact with her lawyer now. Because they trying to stop her from getting out of this. So apparently that's what's going on there. Something else is happening, but hold on for a minute. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, that's what's going on with Kevin Hunter and Wendy and this whole situation with he trying to get that money. That's all that is. He need to go ahead and get himself a job while he out here doing all this filing lawsuits and stuff. Let's move on to the next thing. Now let's get into Housewives of Potomac. So we got Stacey. So Stacey now just announced that she is actually did in partnership with a cannabis infusing health wellness line. She got that came out and everything. She did that. She did that on the Juneteenth is when she announced it. So everybody online saying, Stacey is a liar. We can actually say that Giselle was right about this one. And I'm like, she just didn't want to, because at the reunion, Stacey denied that, she was going into the cannabis field. And to now, I said, I would have denied it too. It's none of your business. Like Giselle need to worry about what's going on in her own life, man, because she ain't got no businesses that I know of. Everything's been canceled. Only job she got is housewives. So move on to that. Let's get into Donald Trump. So Donald Trump said he is going to determine in the next 2 weeks if the United States is going to take military actions against Iran. Because Iran and Israel is out here, having a little back and forth missile situation going on right now. And he over here trying to debate what he going to do. If the U.S. military really know what they're doing, I wouldn't allow him to actually make that decision because it has nothing to do with us. These are two countries that's going against each other over whatever it may be. I think it's supposed to be in nuclear weapons, but who knows? They just going back and forth at this point. But hopefully things get worked out over there. But we'll know by the time in the next 2 weeks that he will be going to war with them. He will be taking military action because Donald Trump, that's what he do best. Like he's somebody. But let's move on. Now, let's get into the new, there's a new strain of COVID that is out. Nibis. So this new strain of COVID actually can cause a very, very severe razor blade type throat symptoms. And a lot of people who have actually have COVID have got this strain. They said like 10 to 37% of new cases, patients and stuff have actually got the new strain. And it actually, from the research they have done from the UK, India, and the United States, they said some parts of the United States, but especially in California. So please be very careful out here. You may have to start wearing masks when you go into these grocery stores, malls, etc., just to be on the safe side. So, watch out for these symptoms and stuff and be safe out there. So let's move on to the next thing that we got up, and that is the one and only B. Simone. So now let's get into this mess. So B. Simone and her bestie did a sit down where the best friend ended up telling her experience that she's been going through for this year, and how she felt like, people think because you're friends with celebrities that you actually having a better life and you getting access to the money that they get access to. And she said, I got to see you be Simone, out here helping people, writing checks when I was, down and out. And I felt a certain way about it. But, the Lord wanted me to go through me getting my car repossessed, me having to move back in with my parents, me had to be in the welfare line, be back on Medicaid, food stamps, excuse me, he wanted me to go through this experience, to be better off, and stuff. And you gotta be someone say, oh my God. That's it, the fakeness. I said, girl, very well you could have helped your friend out. And helping your friend out does not mean you coming to their aid every time something go wrong. She had her parents let her move in, which is good, and whatever. But you knew what was going on. But you can be out here helping somebody else struggling when you have a friend that you could have at least threw a couple of dollars. Like her car got repossessed. Like, so you could at least help her with that. No, keep a car. But some of the people comments was saying like, God could have been showing you, girl, that she can't be trusted. Well, yeah, that's about true too, because I don't want a best friend that knows what I'm going through, my bad times and whatever, and they know if something like a car being repossessed, they can't even help out, but they got the means to it. But it's not their responsibility to help you. But if you sitting back, but you can help somebody else, I have an issue. That makes me know that, yeah, you're my bestie, but I'm gonna have to keep certain things in my personal life and certain things I'm struggling with to myself because it's not really good for me to open up to you on that level because you don't care. But that's just how I feel. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Uh, moving on past them, let's get into the next thing that we got up, and that is this billboards, baby. This billboards thing. Um, was it top 75 R&B artists? This list was all wrong because they got Brandy and Aaliyah at 41, and Brandy was 41, Aaliyah was 40. The whole list was a total disaster to me because I said, I'm trying to figure out, like, why is this whole out of place? Why is Summer Walker even on this list? I said, why is Jasmine Southern above? Yeah, Jasmine Southern was above Brandy Leah. And I'm like, huh? I love me some Jasmine. I'm like, no, 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 no. Then they had Miss Phyllis Hyman in the top, what was she, top 60? The whole list was out of place. Out of place. And then I seen some other ones been posted where they had Usher at number 12. At number 12, I said, you must be alive. Because I said, no. Usher, no. Usher should be in. Usher, if y'all actually putting Brandy and Aaliyah in that segment right there, that's where Usher should have been in that same segment. But I said the bad thing about it, Monica wasn't even on this list. And I said, you could throw this away. I said, I don't even care. You can throw this away at that point. But that's what's going on there. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this Billboard top 75, the best R&B artists. So moving past them, let's get into this. Is gonna be a quick one, and we got this man who is this pastor is a Trump supporter. You know, he's a MAGA, and you know he on a pulpit testifying, you know, bragging about the money he's been earning because people been walking up him because he's been supporting Donald Trump and trying to say that his cash app. I said, sir, there's nothing to brag about. I said, definitely you getting up here on a pulpit. Like, how is this supposed to help somebody? Oh, because you voted for him and you thinking that's okay. We just gonna keep it moving. Keep it moving on that one. So let's move on to the next. Excuse me. Now let's get into Jaheim. So Mr. Jaheim was spotted at Lexington Mall, and apparently he pretended like he wasn't himself when the person said, You Jaheim. He went, nah, I him. I said, well, all you got to do is tell him remove that hat. Because when you see that, we see the headline. He got no hair here, but you will know that's Jaheim. You will know that's him in 100%. Jaheim is there. But let's move on, Pat. Let's get into my girl Sherry Shepherd. So, the king of reads ended up posting this because Tyler is getting sued, and so he came up with this. Since you are a role model, Sherry Shepherd, are you going to address Tyler Perry having an inappropriate text conversation with his former employee? Or is this only necessary? Is it only necessary when women don't dress appropriately? I said, "Bitch." I said, you ain't have to do my girl like that. Excuse me. You ain't have to do, oh God. You ain't have to do my girl like that at all. But yeah, you want to call a woman out about how they dress, but I said your employer that you were just employed by, was having an inappropriate relationship with somebody. And I don't see you speaking on it now, girl. You silent as a mouse. But that's what's going on with. Now let's get into Um, who was up next? I forget who this was. Okay, so this week we ended up having Whoopi Goldberg herself. She ended up trending after there was, the View had a, they do hot topics, and she said that black people in America have it just as bad as people in Iran. Murdering someone for their difference is bad. So she ended up having this conversation, ended up being a big thing. I want to say either what's that Monday? Is it Monday or Tuesday when that happened? Because I watched the episode, and she was trying to get across to the lady that's sitting next to Sonny. Yeah, trying to get into her head because she talking about Iran is going. They got it worse than anybody else and stuff like that. And Whoopi try to make her understand that that's not true. Black people are in the United States are fighting, been fighting for decades, and nothing has changed. Really changed for the most part. We still going through some of the same struggles that shouldn't even be in existence anymore. But they are. And Joy even tried it, because Joy used to be a teacher. And she tried to explain it to her that black people go through, here in the United States. And she still wasn't getting it. She just was not getting the topic of what these women were saying to her. She just kept talking about the Iran and what they're going through it harder than I said. But yeah, that's what went on there. So let's move on to the next. Let's get into who I got now. Come on. Now we got Kanye West and Bianca. So they are actually reportedly over in Spain. They had checked themselves into a 170K a week mental health retreat. Congratulations to them. I hope they get the help they need. I hope Kanye come back, actually better than he has been these last couple of months. Acting a fool, running through the palace like he done lost everything. Yeah. Good luck to them in their mental health. Hope the retreat actually really helps, because they paying all their money weekly. So congratulations to them. Good luck. So let's move on to the last thing that I got up, and that is we have give a big condolences to a choreographer who actually worked on You Think You Can Dance, Step It Up Too, and he passed away at the age of 52. And he will truly be remembered, and his legacy will live on. And it just seemed like a lot of people are just passing away, and it's a mess. It is a mess. I understand the Lord calls you when it's your time, but it just be like, oh Lord, here we go. It's a part of life, but it's always sad. But that's all that I got for y'all. It's your boy Paul. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. Bye, y'all.